Looking at this, ebbs and flows in the San Francisco housing construction, we can see that, yes, it is down somewhat here, but still, look at where it has come from since the financial crisis. There's more buildings being built. You will probably see cranes going all over this city. I'm sure that if you're living in any of these major cities, you're probably seeing a lot of cranes up in your financial centers, in your main cities in the downtown core and so on. I'm definitely seeing this here in Toronto. I know that this is going on pretty much everywhere. So it is usually a peak indicator when you see the tallest skyscrapers being built. If your city is having the tallest building being built ever in it, that often signals a peak. And usually that building gets built after the peak is over, which is quite funny because it's right at the very end and they struggle to get it all done, but eventually it does happen. I've shown you that before, the skyscraper index, I believe it's referred to as. San Francisco new housing construction, you could see that as well, looking at this from a different way. I'm going to show you a few. It's going to talk a little bit about the same issues, but the median sales price here from 2016 through 2018, that has increased. Looking at houses, looking at condos, doesn't matter. Ultimately, these prices are going up and it seems to be just month after month of continuous increases. Average dollar per square foot on sale. Think about where you live, if it's in the United States, if it's in Europe or Australia or Canada or wherever. Think about the dollar per square foot. This is of course US dollar, but just convert that and think about what you pay for a dollar per square foot. That's going to give you an idea, because if you look at certain areas of Europe, they may have much smaller square footage homes or flats or units or whatever you want to call it than you would have in the US. So we need to compare per square foot. So I think that this is a good indicator to look at it on a global scale, because we can't always look at just what's happening in the US. We need to understand the global economy that affects each other. There is contagion and so on. So this is something that you should take a look at for yourself. Rolling 3-month period on the sales volume here, I'm seeing more sales today. I'm seeing more population today. I'm seeing more construction today. That's happening as we speak. The inventory is declining. So this is the double whammy here, that when you have more people buying and you have less inventory, that's not a good thing in terms of the prices if you want to get into the market. Truly something that's something to watch out for. Average days on the market, these numbers are declining as well, meaning they're just going like hotcakes, selling off the markets, meaning the prices rise even further because people are worried. Am I going to be able to get in? Am I going to be able to afford these prices? I'll jump in right now. It doesn't matter. I'll just jump in. Okay, so that's that. This was Paragon Real Estate Group looking at the May 2018 report. If you want to know anything about real estate as it goes on, then you definitely want to check out this website. I want to give them a shout out for having such an incredible report. This report is massive. You just scroll forever to go through it. And so if you want to know the details, you need to keep up to date. I'm going to constantly bring you this information, but if you want to check it out for yourself, then definitely take a look here. I'll put the link in the description under the sources, or if you want me to just give it to you now, it is Paragon, Paragon, then the dash symbol, and then re.com. Okay, looking at the Case-Shiller 20 City Composite Home Price Index hitting a record high. It's never been this high before. Here we are, major 20 cities going far beyond what was seen in the previous housing boom. So after all of that, think about how crazy the housing bubble was, where you had subprime left, right, and center. You had literally millions of empty homes, and today we have exceeded that. Yes, it is 10 years later, but where did those millions of homes go? Did millions of people buy homes? We got a problem here. We're not being told the truth. So I'm going to continue to investigate this very quickly, okay? I only got 2 more things to cover. Household income increase needed to buy the median price house in the key cities. When you look at the national level of 6%, they've highlighted it here. Or look around. Whether it's Los Angeles, San Francisco, New York, and so on, this is incredibly expensive, all right? incredibly expensive. I don't know how the average person can afford these places. I'm looking at it in Toronto and saying this is unaffordable, and the average person says, yeah, but it's great. I'm worth a lot more money today. Well, then we definitely don't see eye to eye. Divergence between the actual household income and the income needed to buy the median priced home. Most of the largest U.S. cities are completely unaffordable to the typical end user shelter buyer with a 10% down payment. If you're buying with a 10% down payment, you can't buy these homes. If you're in Los Angeles, San Francisco, New York, San Diego, and so on, these prices are way too high. The average person doesn't make enough money. But if you're in that top 5%, top 1%, it's not a problem. You're able to afford whatever you want, but that doesn't really give us a good idea of the average person here. Even on a national level, just taking it on average, it's really not good. So what do we have to do? Well, we have to hope for prices to decline, and the way that happens is that the Federal Reserve will have to come in and increase interest rates. When they do so, it's going to make people realize that, hey, I don't want to invest right now. I'm going to wait it off a little bit. So that starts to bring the sales velocity down. You will have homes staying on the market longer. Prices will come down. People can't afford the repayments on their property and so on. And you want to do that obviously as slowly and softly as possible, but it never works like that. It always crashes. So this will be experienced at some point in the near future unless the Federal Reserve wants to keep interest rates down. If they want to keep interest rates down, people don't understand this. Probably about 95% of people, and I would say about 90% of the people within the financial industry, from my experience, don't understand this. And that is, in order to keep the interest rates down, central banks have to engage in what the US calls open market operations, and that is printing money. If you want to keep interest rates down, they have to print money. How much money can they print? It all depends. Do you want to see confetti in the streets? Well, we'll see about that. Ask Helicopter Ben Bernanke on his opinion. If you found this video informative, please give me a thumbs up. This is a jam-packed, hard-hitting, super long episode, but I do appreciate you staying until the end. That's all. If you found the video informative, I know you will find my books, The Money GPS, and my newer release, Global Economic Collapse, even more informative. You can actually flip through these books. All you got to do is go over to Amazon. There's a look inside feature. It's going to allow you to flip through the pages of these books to see if you like them. Take care.